This is the Porsche Macan S, and today we're going to be taking a closer look at it. Typically, our Cars at CARRO series revolves around cars that are more practical and affordable, like the Honda Vezels and the Toyota Altises of the world. But I'm not complaining. I get to take this bad boy out for a spin. The Macan is essentially a blend between a classic 911 and the Cayenne, so it's easy to see why this is the German automaker's best-selling model in their lineup. This compact SUV has successfully adopted the sporty driving characteristics of the 911 without undermining the benefits and practicality that an SUV offers. It's like a sports car in an SUV's body. Oh, and did you know that the Macan is actually derived from the Indonesian word for tiger? I wonder why the Germans chose this word from a country so far away. I guess it just sounds better and certainly more interesting than just calling it a Porsche Tiger, or the German equivalent, which is, by the way, also tiger. Now, before you continue with the rest of the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel here for the freshest car reviews, car hacks, and more. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Why are we doing a review of a 2014 model when there's a refreshed 2019 version available on the market? Well, that's because even 7 years on, this Macan S is still such a brilliant car. You can even say that it's arguably better than some of the newer models like the Mercedes-Benz GLC, BMW X3, X4, or Range Rover Evoque. So how does the refreshed Macan compare to the 2014 model? Well, the biggest difference is in the chassis, which sports a new spring and an anti-roll bar, which helps to smoothen the ride out even more. The latest Macan S models also get a new Porsche 6-cylinder turbocharged engine, which bumps the torque and horsepower upwards. Design-wise, the biggest change is in the rear lights. The newer model sports a cool and somewhat futuristic rear light design running across the back, which is consistent with the other cars in Porsche's lineup. The front also looks sportier than before, with the grille and lights moving ever so slightly. Inside, you get a new modern infotainment system and a bigger screen too. From the get-go, you might think that the Macan S is the Cayenne's little brother, but the only similarities between these two cars is that they're both Porsche SUVs. The Macan looks way sportier and super sleek. While the Cayenne straight up looks like a car for the family, the Macan is designed for someone who is looking for the perfect mix between performance and functionality. When you first lay eyes on the Macan, you'll instantly notice its aerodynamic shape. From the clamshell bonnet to the sculpted sides and sloping rear, it's a true beauty. At the front here, right behind the grille, there's a feature that helps with the aerodynamics of the car. It's a front baffle that opens up at higher speeds to help cool down the engine quicker. But I have to add that I find the front here a little too busy for my liking. It feels like there's a bit too much going on, especially when you compare it to the rear. The rear here looks super clean, which emanates an aura of expensiveness and elegance. I'd also like to give a special mention to these taillights. They sport a very 3D look, which makes them look especially cool at night. Something to add on about the rear is that the slope on this tailgate is pretty steep, which results in a smaller rear window. This might make it slightly more challenging when trying to park. The sloping rear also affects the amount of boot space available. Let me show you. Where is it at? Oh, okay, here, it's hidden. Okay, how cool. You see, the storage space here is nothing amazing, but it's sufficient to satisfy most drivers' needs. There's enough space to store 3 to 4 luggages, and of course, more than enough for grocery runs. I also like the 40-20-40 split for the rear seats, which offers flexibility when ferrying a mix of people and cargo around. Hopping in the rear, it's honestly nothing exceptional. Legroom and headroom are comfortable enough for an average Singaporean, but the middle row here poses a real problem. The transmission tunnel is super high, so it's really awkward for your passenger here to get comfy. Definitely not suitable for an adult. Overall, the cabin is definitely amazing. Draped in plush, soft leather, high-quality materials everywhere, and even a set of Bose speakers, it's hard to find a better cabin. One of my favorite parts is the steering wheel. It looks super sleek and sporty, so it shouldn't surprise you. that this steering wheel was actually designed for the 918 Spyder. But look at the center console here. It's like a fighter jet's cockpit. There are way too many buttons here, and for someone who's not used to the setup, it can be really overwhelming and confusing. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for, let's take this baby for a test drive. A Porsche's DNA is all about high-performance engines, speed, and power, and the Macan does not disappoint. Experts call this the sportiest SUV on the market, and I can see why. Behind the wheel, it's easy to forget that you're driving an SUV. It basically feels like you're driving a sports car, but in an elevated seating position. You can even say that the Macan S is sportier than many sports cars on the market. Equipped with the V6 twin-turbocharged 3-liter engine that produces 335 brake horsepower and 460 Nm of torque, it can finish a 0 to 100 sprint in 5.5 seconds. With so much power available, it's not surprising that the Macan is a petrol guzzler. But depending on how you drive, petrol costs might go up. Although that shouldn't be an issue for somebody who's looking for a Porsche crossover. The gearbox in here is a 7-speed PDK, simply put, a double-clutch gearbox, which makes shifting gears smart, quick, and decisive while not interrupting the flow of power to the engine, and is supposed to enhance the comfort levels as well. Having speed and power in a car is nice, but it's useless without good handling. So you'll be happy to know that the Macan handles brilliantly. The steering is sharp, cornering is a breeze without much body roll, and there's superb traction from the Macan's all-wheel drive system. So you can imagine how well this car performs on highways or sprints up north in Malaysia. Super comfortable and fun to drive. From ignition to pushing it on the road, the Macan purrs beautifully too. Just listen to it go. Okay, from the outside it sounds fierce, but not to a point where it'll annoy your neighbors. Another super cool feature that's super expensive and not found in many Porsche models is this, the Sports Chrono Package. You get a super sleek looking digital and analog stopwatch mounted on the dashboard, and this is actually meant for you to measure your lap time. But if you don't bring the car on a track, well, maybe you can use it to measure how fast it takes you to go up a multi-story car park instead. If you think that driving the Macan is amazing, just wait till you switch it to sports mode. The car really steps it up a notch and delivers increased dynamics and becomes even more responsive. If you want, you can even take it one step further and go absolutely crazy with the Sports Plus mode. Excellent stuff, guys. Wow, that was fun! The Porsche Macan S is truly a leader in the luxury compact SUV market. It feels like a sports car but offers all the practical and functional benefits of an SUV. It's definitely a car you won't regret buying. You see, we don't just bring in the bread and butter models, we also have some premium options available for you to choose from. Our wide selection of cars appeals to a variety of drivers, while our assurances and policies guarantee peace of mind in your car buying journey. Enjoy quality assurance with a rigorous 150-point inspection check that all our second-hand cars go through, covering a variety of parts like your tires, aircon, battery, and more. If we find any faulty parts during the inspection, we will replace them with brand new components. Only Carro does this for you. Also, get a 30-day full access to our workshop for wear and tear issues related to any of your car safety components. Enjoy full assurance with our special return policy, where you can return the car within 3 days and pick another if you decide the car's not right for you. What are you waiting for? Find your dream car on carro.sg today.
Carro!